Today I'm going to show you how to create 3D cut animation in After Effects. Let's get started. So here we are inside After Effects. We're going to start by creating new composition. The width would be 750 by 624. Frame rate would be 60 and 12 seconds of duration. That's more than enough. So let's name our composition. You can name whatever you like. Okay, so we have the composition ready. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna jump to the UI design. So I'm already done the UI design in Sektch. You can do the same thing with Figma or XD, whichever you prefer, but I already done the design. So if you want, I can make a tutorial for UI design, but this is a different video, I guess. Anyway, so we have named it cut 1, cut 2 and cut 3, and the bottom bar and the status bar and everything, but we need to just card and the bottom bar here. So we get everything together. We're gonna export it in 2x. I'm just remove the previous export and we're gonna export it in 2x. We can do the same thing in XD or Figma or whatever tool you prefer. So I'm gonna using this asset folder to export everything. Export it. Now it's time to import it on the After Effects, but before that I would like to create a folder. It's always wise to have folder for organizing your assets, because you can have like different assets. For instance, we're gonna only have the cards view on the card folder here, and we're gonna have maybe other UI. Bottom bar inside the other UI like this. Grab all the cursing and drop it to the timeline. Okay, now that we have the cards, we're gonna grab the bottom one to the bottom and top one to the top. We have to distribute evenly. Use the distribute layer here. We have the vertical distribution. Perfect. Maybe the gap is too much. Okay, that's fine. Distribute again. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna enable the 3D for these 3 layers using this 3D box right here, and we're gonna use the draft 3D. Otherwise you can't see the 3D over on the viewport. Anyway, we're gonna rotate it only in x-axis. So to enable the rotation, we're gonna press R on the keyboard, and that brings you the rotation panel. So we're gonna only rotate in x-axis. So on the first frame, drop a keyframe and drop the another keyframe on which frame you like to stop the animation. So for this animation, would like to stop in 1 minute. Sorry, 1 second. So we're gonna start rotating, and it will automatically add another keyframe. So we're gonna have about minus 41. It's a random number. You can do whatever you want for this number, and don't be alarmed by different rotation here, because this is the 3D layout, so it seems a little bit different in that part, but it could be fixed easily when it start animating. So one thing you notice that the scale a little bit higher right now because of the 3D rotation, so we need to fix that. We're gonna go back to the first frame, get the 3 layers and press S for scale. Okay, so we're gonna scale it down from the first frame to the end frame of animation. So we're gonna drop a keyframe, and we're gonna go to the frame 1 second. We're gonna start scaling down like maybe this perfect enough. Now we're gonna preview it a little bit to see how it looks. It looks completely boring and not the way we want it to be. So next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna move it. Move is mean the position. That means press P to bring out the position properties. We're gonna go in first frame again and drop a keyframe. Make sure we have all the layers selected, so we can drop the keyframe all at once. We're gonna go to the first frame again, first second again, I'm rambling, and we're gonna drag it to the top. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna drag it separately so we can match the stack up like this. And unfortunately we can't really use the automatic distribution layer tool here, because it's in the 3D layer. You can't really use the 2D tool in the 3D layer. So when you're going to press it, you're going to have an error like this. So we're not going to use it. We're going to use our best jobs here just to see that what it looks. That's pretty much it, I guess. This is perfect, I guess. I'm not sure. Anyway, so now we're going to grab everything together and press U and U again to see all the active keyframes we have. Now test our animation. Still boring, so what we're going to do, grab everything together, all the keyframes, and right click, go to the key assistance and easy ease, or just press F7 to do the same thing. Now we started easing up, but still not the way we want it to be. So what we're going to do, go to the graph editor and make sure it's speed graph is enabled, otherwise it's going to look a little bit different than my one. Grab the right part and drag it to the left. So what that's gonna do, you're going to start slowly and speed up in that part and slow down so that let's preview it. That's exactly how we want it. Okay, so now that we have our card animated, now it's time for our list view to animate it. So we already have the list view UI here. Again, I named it by layer, item 1, item 2, item 3 and item 4. So what we're going to do, grab everything together. I'm going to remove the previous export, make exportable and make it 2x. And again, you can do exactly same thing with the XD or Figma or any tool you like. Export it to our asset folder, and go here. We're going to create another folder because it's going to be way much organized, and name it the list items. Okay, so now we're gonna finder, we're gonna give all the list item, we have the 6, and drag it to the list item over here. Now we have all the list item. We're gonna drag it to the timeline. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change the color of it because it's going to be more distinguishable and it will help us with animation. I'm gonna make it red. Now that we have the red, what we're gonna do, we're gonna come here and we're gonna start dragging. So we're going to do the first one at the last like this, second one at a little bit last, and you can do automatically, but it's gonna mess up the distribution as layer sequences. You'll see what I meant. Okay, now that we have it, we're gonna get things together and use the distribute layer, distribute properly. Okay, that reminds me, I need to drag and drop the bottom bar over here and align to the bottom and make sure it's locked so that we have proper UI here. That grab all the list item, makes a little bit top. Okay, so now they have been in place, but it haven't been animated or anything. So what we're gonna do, on that frame, all the list items should be here, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab all the list item together, press P, that is position. We're gonna drop a keyframe that enables all the keyframes for the all selected layers. Go over to the first one and we're gonna drag it down like this. So let's play it to see how it looks. It looks nothing like we expected because we don't have the easy ease, we don't have the graph editing, and we don't have anything. So we're gonna start using the easy ease. So let's see how it looks. Still nothing like it because it's not matching with the card easement. What we're gonna do, same thing, grab the right side, drag it to the left as it goes, and now we are playing it. Now it matches the speed of the card, but still something missing, which is like they're coming all the way together. That's not, it seems very boring. We can fix that by this one come at first and that one comes a little bit slower and slower and slower and goes on. So how we're gonna do it, we're gonna move around. So zoom out a little bit, and by each 2 frame we're gonna delete each layer. So we're selecting all of it except the first one. So this is the first one, we're going to remove it out. So it's going to be delayed a little bit, like 2 frame. Again, select this, leave the second one and drag it 2 frame. Leave the another one, drag it 2 frame. Leave another one, drag it 2 frame, and lastly leave the another one and drag the last one. Now that is set, I'm now going to preview it. We're going to see the perfect easement. Now that we have our main animation ready, we can add minor adjustment to it. We're gonna add our main title, and once the animation is done, we're gonna have our secondary title just like we did it on our design. So since it's just a text, we're not exporting as an image and importing to the After Effects. We're gonna use the text tool inside an After Effects. So we're gonna start typing cards. We need to make sure that our design in After Effects matches with our original design. So we're going to use the properties from here. So we're going to have the Sektch, bold and 24, but since this design is half of the animation we have here, the composition size, so we're going to use the twice as big as our card, the text size, which is 24. That means we're going to using the 48, and make sure our font family is the same, which is Sektch in this case. Sektch bold. Now we have exactly same title like our original design. Make sure it's aligned properly. We can use the align because this is the 3D layout. Anyway, so the way I envisioned it, the card gonna pushes up the text on the top, and it will disappear once the animation is done. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna bring up the position and the transparency. Hold down the shift and press T. It will bring down the 2 properties we have. So we're gonna drop the keyframe 1 and 2, the position and opacity. We're gonna go to the final keyframe of the animation, and we're gonna push it to the top like this, and it will disappear like this. We're gonna same thing we're gonna do here. We're gonna easy, sorry about that, so the wrong click. We're gonna easy ease, and we're gonna drag the easy ease on the. Now we're gonna see the animation matches the speed, but the text seems a little bit stays for too long. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna drag the opacity keyframe to 30 frame. So they're gonna dissipate a little bit faster than it moves. Now it moves a little bit faster. Sorry, moves the same way but disappear a little bit earlier than before the animation ends. Look at this, it seems more natural right now. Okay, so the second part we're gonna do, we're gonna add the secondary titles right here. With the text tool again, and we're gonna go back and use the properties here. Sektch regular 14. I'm gonna copy the text by 14. That means we have to use it here 28. Paste the text and make it 28 and Sektch regular. Okay, now that we have exactly lookalike secondary title, we're gonna reposition it, and this is supposed to be the final position of our secondary title. So we're gonna add same way we did, position and shift T for transparency. Use the 2 keyframes and go back to the initial frame, the first frame of the animation. We're gonna make things disappear. 0 opacity, and position should be it's coming from the bottom instead of going back to the top, because all the transaction here going to be coming on from the bottom to top. We're gonna do the same thing for our title over here as well. So we're gonna drag it to the bottom. So now you're gonna come it like this, but same way, it's nowhere near to be perfect. So you're gonna use keyframe assistant, easy ease, go to the graph editor, grab the right side and drag it to the left. Now we have the animation. The problem is that title came a little bit earlier before our animation could ever complete it. So what we're gonna do, you're gonna grab the opacity keyframe and drag it to the 20 frame like this. So it's gonna come a little bit later. So have you noticed we're doing exactly opposite than our primary title? We're gonna make things disappear a little bit early for the primary title, and for the secondary title we're gonna make things appear a little bit late. So now we're gonna play it. That makes a lot of sense now. Once the animation is almost done, we're gonna bring up our secondary title. And we still need maybe made a mistake on the card view like this, because I keep it at 2. Make sure it's 0, and that's pretty much it. So now that we have it, we have all the full animation. So if you guys have any question, feel free to comment, and hope you see you in the next one.